Gain on the 11. So he has a little more speed than the 11, and just that little bit is how he got penalized.
Hayes Elliott has faced pressure before, but nothing like this. During the 2025 season finale at Phoenix Raceway, NASCAR's most popular driver suffered a collapse so sudden and so public that it exploded across social media within minutes. A year built on redemption was wiped out in one brutal moment, and the reaction was immediate. Fans, analysts, and even former champions piled on, turning Elliott's heartbreak into the most talked-about breakdown of the season. Chase Elliott came into Phoenix with a chip on his shoulder. While he didn't make the championship four, his late-season form was strong, and many believed he had the car and confidence to win. The Hendrick Motorsports driver was running up front in the final stage, looking to end the season on a high note. But then, the unthinkable happened. A speeding penalty on pit road. It was the kind of mistake that haunts drivers, a small miscalculation, a moment of misjudgment, and just like that, Elliott's momentum was gone. He couldn't recover, and any hope of grabbing a third win to close out the season disappeared in his rearview mirror. He faded back in the field, unable to find clean air or make up ground. That penalty at the worst possible time was all it took to derail his comeback moment. The cameras caught every second. Elliott's frustration was written all over his face. His radio transmissions turned sour. Body language told the whole story. And as the broadcast replayed the misstep over and over, social media erupted. The hashtags flew. Hashtag chokejob. Hashtag speeding self-destruct. Hashtag Elliott collapse. What should have been a quiet end to a solid season exploded into a full-blown public meltdown. And yet, the numbers tell a different story. Elliott finished 2025 with 2 wins, 11 top 5 finishes, 19 top 10 finishes, 454 laps led, and an average finishing position of 12.6. He ended the year 8th in the standings, a major improvement over his 2024 campaign. But that progress was buried under the chaos of his Phoenix error and the lingering sting of his elimination in the round of 8. It marked the second consecutive year Elliott failed to reach the championship 4. And while the round of 8 is a tough hurdle, especially in a format as cutthroat as NASCAR's playoffs, many had higher expectations for the number 9 car. The wreck at Talladega Superspeedway earlier in the playoffs was the moment things started to unravel. Elliott had been surging, looking like a real contender, but that crash set him back, and he never fully recovered. The Phoenix mistake was the final nail in the coffin. But the narrative didn't stop there. It escalated when Elliott, visibly shaken, appeared in a post-race interview where he struggled to articulate his disappointment. It wasn't just the loss. It was the emotional toll. He'd carried the weight of expectation all year, clawed his way back from a rocky start, and just when he had a shot at redemption, it vanished in an instant. Fans watching live weren't kind. While Elliott has built a massive, loyal following, the reaction to his post-race demeanor was divided. Some saw vulnerability, others saw weakness. In the modern era of sports fandom, there's little room for nuance. Social media spun his interview into memes, sound bites, and hot takes. The headlines were harsh. Elliott cracks under pressure. Speeding penalty sinks superstar. Fan favorite fumbles finale. The criticism was especially surprising given Elliott's usually calm and composed public image. He's not known for outbursts or drama. Unlike other drivers who might lash out, Elliott often keeps his emotions in check. So seeing him visibly rattled was rare, and that rawness only added fuel to the media frenzy. Analysts picked apart every word he said. Fans debated whether the pressure was too much, and even fellow drivers commented on the intensity of the moment. And then, like clockwork, the award arrived. Despite the heartbreak, Elliott was once again named the most popular driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, a title he's held since 2018. This year marked his 8th consecutive win of the prestigious National Motorsports Press Association Award. It wasn't just a continuation, it was a cementing of his legacy. Only Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Bill Elliott have matched or surpassed that level of fan adoration. But here's the twist. Elliott wasn't at the awards banquet. The event, focused on honoring the Championship 4, didn't include him, and he recorded a video message instead. That absence spoke volumes. It was a symbolic reminder of his place in 2025, admired, beloved, but no longer the man in the spotlight.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just got the news a little bit ago, and just wanted to take a minute and reflect on that some, and then also just say a quick thanks. Thank you for the votes. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to do that and support us in that way and support me in that way. But man, it's so much more than the votes, and I tell a lot of people this that I talk to about it, but just it's really about the people and the support that I get to see firsthand. And I know not everybody has that vantage point or that that perspective, but it truly is incredible.
Still, the most popular driver award is no small feat. It means something. It represents a connection with the fan base that goes beyond wins and championships. Chase Elliott carries a family legacy. His father, Bill Elliott, won the same award 16 times across 3 decades. For fans, Chase isn't just a driver. He's tradition. He's character. He's NASCAR's heart.
I want to make sure everyone understands that I'm forever grateful for that, whether we win the award or don't win the award. I think I have some of the best fans in the world, and I really appreciate you guys supporting me and pushing us and wanting the best for our team, and being there on the good days and the bad. So I know this year had a couple high spots or a few high spots, but I'm always looking to bring you guys more. I always want to give you guys something to be proud of each and every week. And while I am looking forward to some time away, I'm also fired up and excited to do more of that for you next year.
Yet even that acclaim can't mask the frustration of another lost season. In a sport where every mistake is magnified and every victory scrutinized, being popular isn't enough. Elliott knows it. His team knows it. And the 2026 season looms large as the next chapter in his pursuit of redemption.
I think our team is in a great spot, and I'm looking forward to firing back off next season. So just a quick thanks. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I look forward to seeing a lot of you back on the road again next year, and wish you and your families a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holidays and all the things that are ahead as much as you can, and we'll see you guys around the corner. Thanks.
There are reasons for optimism. Hendrick Motorsports will be rolling out a new car body in partnership with Chevrolet. It's a major development, one that could shake up the competitive balance heading into the new season. Elliott's performance in the 10-race playoff stretch was encouraging, especially considering the adversity he faced. His speed was there, his instincts were sharp, but the margin for error was non-existent. With the sport evolving, the pressure on drivers like Elliott only intensifies. He's no longer the up-and-comer chasing veterans. He is the veteran now, the standard bearer for a new generation, yet still chasing the kind of dominance once displayed by the likes of Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, or even Kevin Harvick. And make no mistake, the competition isn't getting any easier. With names like Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, and Christopher Bell in the mix, the bar keeps rising. Even emerging drivers like Ty Gibbs and Zane Smith are showing flashes of brilliance, ready to disrupt the hierarchy. Elliott can't coast on popularity. He'll need to fight harder, push further, and lock in from race 1 in 2026. One key factor will be chemistry with his crew and strategic clarity on pit calls. While the speeding penalty was ultimately on Elliott, questions linger about the team's preparation, communication, and timing. The best teams in NASCAR, like Larson's or Blaney's, seem to operate as a single, fluid unit. If Elliott's crew can close that small gap, the wins will come. What makes this even more intense is the double-edged nature of Elliott's fame. The more beloved you are, the more pressure you face. Every mistake is magnified, every win feels overdue, and every season without a championship becomes another bullet point for critics. It's a cycle that can wear down even the most composed athletes. But if there's one thing fans have learned about Chase Elliott, it's that he doesn't fold easily. He's been through highs, like his 2020 championship, and lows, like last year's slump and injury recovery. He knows what it takes to climb back. The question is, will he? 2026 won't just be another season. It might be the one that defines the second act of his career. Is he a fan favorite who fades, or a former champion who finds his way back to the top? The tools are there. The team is ready. The spotlight is waiting. And fans, they'll be watching closer than ever, because when the next viral moment comes, it won't be about a penalty, it'll be about whether Chase Elliott finally finishes what he starts. Let us know what you think. Was the backlash to Elliott's Phoenix mistake fair or overblown? Does popularity protect a driver from criticism or invite even more of it? Drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns into the biggest moments in NASCAR.
Shane Van Gisbergen answered all the questions and said, I'm not necessarily going to be granted a win in this race, but he's got the win. SVG wins the Roval.
Shane Van Gisbergen, a name that once ruled the V8 supercars, is now making waves in NASCAR, and no one saw it coming. Just a few years ago, NASCAR wasn't even on his radar, but now he's capturing the attention of American fans and making history in his debut. How did this unexpected crossover happen? SVG, known for his dominance in the EV8 supercars, had no plans of joining NASCAR until Justin Marks, co-owner of Trackhouse Racing, reached out with an offer that changed everything. What started as a distant possibility quickly turned into one of the biggest surprises in NASCAR, as Van Gisbergen stormed the Cup Series in 2023 and became an instant fan favorite. SVG admits that before 2022, NASCAR had not really been a focus of his. He said, I followed NASCAR a bit when Aussie Cup driver Marcos Ambrose was racing, but when he stopped, I didn't really pay much attention again until Trackhouse co-owner Justin Marks launched Project 91 in 2022 with the goal of letting the world's best driver have a go in NASCAR. It wasn't until Marks launched his ambitious Project 91 initiative that SVG started to pay attention to the series, realizing it was a potential opportunity to make a name for himself in another discipline of racing. For SVG, NASCAR was something of a curiosity at best, something that wasn't part of his primary focus. Even the interest that Roger Penske had shown in supercars, which could have piqued his attention, hadn't been enough to spark a deep interest in NASCAR. That all changed when Marks and Trackhouse Racing opened the door for international drivers to step into the NASCAR world. Project 91 had already made waves with its debut in 2022, when the program gave Formula One world champion Kimi Räikkönen the opportunity to race in NASCAR SVG. While impressed by the concept, never saw himself as a likely candidate. However, things took a turn when he decided to put feelers out through a connection. Former NASCAR Cup driver Boris Said, who had a relationship with Justin Marks, helped kick off a conversation that would lead to SVG's incredible NASCAR debut. I put out feelers through former NASCAR Cup driver Boris Said, SVG recalled. Boris knew Justin and sort of started the conversation. To my great surprise and joy, Justin reached out and told me, there's a new race happening in 2023 on a street track that I think you'd be perfect for. Give me a few months to find some sponsors and partners. That was an awesome conversation, just because I didn't go into it thinking something would come of it. For SVG, it was the first moment where NASCAR felt like a real possibility, but he was still uncertain. However, as time passed, the conversation with Marks started to take shape. Just a few months later, Marks called back to confirm the news. Yeah, this is going to happen. The opportunity was real, and with the timing working out perfectly, SVG was now poised to take his first steps in NASCAR. At the time, the timing of the Chicago street race fit perfectly within SVG's Supercars calendar, meaning he wouldn't have to miss any of his commitments down under. The fact that the race would take place on a street circuit also made it even more appealing, as it was an environment that he was somewhat familiar with, having raced in other international events. But even with this new opportunity, it was still a big leap. Though SVG had dabbled in American racing before, including appearances in IMSA and the Rolex 24 at Daytona, NASCAR presented a unique challenge. He was stepping into a new kind of racing, with a very different set of rules, cars, and tracks. His first experience in NASCAR was about to be a complete game changer.
Shane Van Gisbergen has been perfect. He has navigated the streets of Chicago to perfection. The final time onto the front stretch. He comes to the checkered flag. He's won the very first street race in NASCAR.
SVG made history during his debut weekend at the Chicago race in 2023, outdueling seasoned NASCAR veterans to claim an unlikely victory. It was a stunning result considering his limited experience with NASCAR compared to the Cup Series regulars. His victory sent shockwaves through the racing world. For SVG, it was the moment that confirmed that his decision to try NASCAR was one of the best choices he could have made. But how did this all fit into SVG's larger career story? For those who don't know, Van Gisbergen had previously harbored dreams of making it to Formula One. He was well aware of the odds against him, though, and as he admitted, "I was halfway decent at open-wheel racing. But I've always been a pretty big guy, and most open-wheel drivers look like they should be 14 years old." Open-wheel racing, particularly Formula One, is known for its extremely demanding fitness requirements and weight restrictions. SVG's physical build, which worked to his advantage in touring cars, wasn't suited for the lightweight, nimble cars of Formula One. His experiences in the Toyota series made it clear that his weight was more of a hindrance than an asset in open-wheel racing. "I knew the odds were slim," SVG said. "My weight was my enemy. It robbed me of speed." With this realization, he pivoted from open-wheel racing to a more fitting discipline, touring cars. It was in this category that he found success, eventually becoming a dominant force in Australia's Supercars Championship. It was here that his talents truly shone, and his legacy in supercars was solidified. Yet just as he was on top of his game in supercars, an entirely new opportunity appeared on the horizon. And it wasn't just about another form of touring car racing, it was NASCAR, a series that few drivers from SVG's world of V8 supercars had dared to step into. For SVG, his transition into NASCAR has not been easy. It's not just about hopping into a car and going fast, it's about mastering new tracks and adapting to a new style of racing NASCAR ovals, the distinct and unique style of American racing, were unlike anything SVG had ever encountered in his career. But SVG's natural ability to adapt, honed over years in supercars, allowed him to quickly start finding his feet in this new discipline.
Yeah, what an awesome day. Good to get our first top 10 here at Kansas. Thank you to Red Bull for coming on with us. Crazy day, going a lap down with the penalty at the start, and then, just worked our way forward, and I got sort of more confident. It's still taking me time with these mile and a halves. And
now, with his focus on mastering ovals, having already secured 4 pole positions on road courses and finishing top 10 at Kansas in 2025, despite starting from the rear of the field, SVG continued his impressive rookie run. SVG is no stranger to hard work, and his performance on ovals proved that he was not just a street racing specialist, but a versatile driver capable of competing on the most challenging tracks NASCAR has to offer. At this point, SVG's transition into NASCAR has evolved into one of the most captivating stories in recent motorsport history. A Kiwi driver crossing oceans and disciplines, adapting to a completely different kind of racing, and finding success on the other side. His journey from V8 supercars to NASCAR has captured the imagination of fans across the world, and his continued growth in the series promises more exciting chapters ahead. For the drivers, teams, and fans involved, SVG's story is a reminder that motorsport is always changing, evolving, and offering new opportunities for talent from around the world. What began as an unlikely crossover has turned into one of the most unexpected and thrilling success stories in NASCAR's modern era. And as for SVG, this chapter of his career is only just getting started. With his sights set on mastering ovals and continuing to improve, the future looks incredibly bright. Who knows? Perhaps in the coming years, we'll see him fighting for race wins and even championships in NASCAR as he continues to build his legacy in yet another motorsport series. Shane Van Gisbergen's shocking decision to step into NASCAR may have seemed improbable at first, but his success in just a few short years proves that he's not only capable of making history in one series, he's ready to make waves in another. And with his unique combination of skill, adaptability, and ambition, SVG is poised to become a permanent fixture in the NASCAR Cup Series, continuing to challenge the norms and defy expectations.
Incredible day, incredible scenes. And the 33-year-old from Elk Grove, California, Kyle Larson comes to the line and is a two-time champion.
Kyle Larson just turned Denny Hamlin's perfect day into another heartbreak. For 319 laps, Hamlin controlled the race, leading 208 of them and sitting just 40 seconds from his first Cup title. Then, a late caution flipped everything.